guest tonight is magician comedian Dana Daniels and his parrot Luigi. So, for the first time in 211 shows, we will have uh, a non human as a guest as well. So,
I could
hang
leave.
on, we'll have a great time.
Welcome to Laughter for All. It's the podcast with Comedian Nazareth.
Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Laughter for All podcast. I am comedian Nazareth, and thank you for joining me in this 211 episode. I really appreciate you guys joining us and being with us, and we're gonna have a great time. And a friend of mine, Dana Dana, is gonna be with us, and I'll introduce him officially in a minute. Just wanna thank you. Let's see. This Friday, I was in Orange County in Irvine at Pacific Church, where they had the singles, the OC singles and couples ministry, and we had a great time with them. And this coming week, I have a family wedding. The whole family is coming from Baltimore and other places. So I deliberately took that weekend off for the family. But then next Friday, not this coming Friday, next Friday, I'm going to be at Night Vision in Grand Junction, Colorado, with Matthew West and several others, Kane and other I think se- several other, three or four. So go to Night Vision, Praise and Ministries, Night Vision Festival, and see if you can make it there. Also on Saturday, the next day, I'm going to be in Twin Falls, Idaho at the Nazarene Centennial Celebration there church. And Sunday morning, I will be in Pocatello, Idaho, speaking at the Baptist church there doing the morning service. And then, of course, I don't need to remind you about our Laughter for All. Laughter for All. We have the July 20th, our free event. We already at 750 tickets. They're free tickets, but you need to go to laughterforall.org and get your free ticket. So uh, so we only see 1,250 seats. We already got 750 taken. So you do the math. We're still a couple months away. So get your tickets. And if you want to get VIP tickets or donated tickets, that means you pay, uh, donation tickets. You want to help contribute. I'm paying for this whole thing through Laughter for All. So if you want to contribute, you want to sponsor, you want to volunteer, you want to, uh, you know, just what else? Show up. You can. So go to laughterforall.org. I'll have all the information. That's about it. I'm excited to introduce my friend. Uh, and Dana is a magician, but no, I can't say he's a magician because he's an entertainer. This guy has everything. Because number one, sometimes magicians do magic, but Dana is funny. He's hilarious, and he has a parrot, and he does so many things, psychic stuff with the bird. But Dana's past TV appearances include Stand Up Live, America's Got Talent, Evening at the Improv, CBS Morning Show, NBC's comedy clubs, news radios, Masters of Illusions, Lance Burton's Magic Special, and the best-selling clean comedy DVD series Thou Shalt Laugh. Dana has also opened for such stars as Ray Romano, Amy Grant, Vince Gill, and Randy Travis. So let's welcome my friend Dana Daniels and his spirit Luigi. Hello.
Hey, Naz, how are you?
Good. How are you, man? It's been a while.
It has been too long.
Yes. It's funny because you were so busy. I'm gonna start that way. We have
All right.
110 people, and you can already, you guys, you can ask any questions you want, and we might be able to answer it. But you've been so busy in Maui doing the magic club
Yeah.
there, and then the unfortunate fire happened and the disaster there. And how's it going since then?
Oh, well, I'll tell you a little bit about the gig. It was a place called Warren and Annabelle's Magic, and a friend of mine, Warren Gibson, it was his club, and he he was the show there for many years, and then eventually he wanted someone to come in and fill in for him, and so I would do that a few weeks a year. And who doesn't want to go to Maui?
Right.
And and this was like 19 years ago, almost 20 years ago, I guess, that I came in and first did it. And then every year I just he gave me more and more weeks to where eventually he kind of phased himself out, kind of going to a little bit of retirement. And I was there half the year. I go out there 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off. And we had a few other magicians and there was just 4 of us, and he just used us because he just wanted that consistency. Yeah, and so we just we filled all the weeks over there, and it was a great gig. Treated us really well, and so it was quite a shock. Yeah, when the fires happened last August, it was like all of a sudden my calendar was a lot of holes in it. I mean, I booked a lot of other events in between the times I was there, but still became a little complacent in chasing down jobs because I had this, and I was like going, I'm pretty happy with that. So so I'm back to gigging and all that, and people have been very nice, very good. They hear what happened, and club owners and everybody, corporate agents and church agents and stuff like that, they would call me and say, "Oh, we'll find you something." Yeah, well, and it's been nice. It's good. The calendar's filling up again.
That's awesome. That's good. You're amazing at what you do. I saw you on Huckabee and others, but tell me.
Oh, they're great. They really treat you well. Have you done that show?
Oh yeah, I did it twice, and it's just been great.
Yeah, I've done it twice too. I did it actually during the shutdown, and there was no audience.
Oh really?
Yeah. Well, they had a few, but they were really spread out at tables, but nobody up in the gallery. And but I flew out like in July of 2020 and did the first time I was on it. I was like, they called, and I was like, yes,
of course.
I was so desperate to work. I just wanted to. I mean, it doesn't pay anything. But it's like
it doesn't pay.
But you just want to work. You want to exercise your muscle of performing. And it's like I was going crazy at home.
I'm going to say this. I hope nobody hears me when I say that. We do what we do for free because we want to be on stage, but we have to charge because there's a lot of other things that comes with it, the marketing, the agents, all that.
Right.
But, I mean, we love what we do. And you know what I noticed, Dana? When I'm not performing, I'm a jerk at home. I'm not nice. I mean, not jerk in a mean to my wife, but somehow my wife senses, she goes, "You kind of tense, you kind of stressed out." And then you go up on stage and it's like, you come back from the show like, la, 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 la.
Yeah.
Life is great.
Yeah.
So are you an Orange County, were you an Orange County boy raised in Orange County?
I was born and raised in Long Beach, nearby, Long Beach, California.
Okay.
And then I moved out to Orange County in the early 80s when I got a gig out at Disneyland.
Okay. So how old were you when you started dabbling with magic?
Oh, I was 11.
Wow.
Yeah.
You started doing.
Yeah, I was in a car accident with my mom, and I broke both my legs. So I was in the hospital. I had compound fractures. So I was in the hospital a long time. I had to be put in traction to get the bones reset, and then I had to be put into a body cast. And then once out of the body cast, I had to go through to build my legs back up and get back to walking, and that took several months. And during that time in the hospital, I was in there for several months. A magician came up and did a show, and that was it, man. I was like, wow, I want to learn how to do that. So.
And you had time doing it at the hospital?
He did a show, and then he walked around, did close-up magic. And then the trick that did it was he had a handkerchief in his pocket. And it was real magical looking. It was like a paisley handkerchief. And then he didn't do anything with it. And then he finished his show, and I was like, well, what's the handkerchief do? And so I yelled out, "What's the handkerchief do?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah." And he pulls it out, and he goes, wham, and he changed it into a cane. I guess he forgot to do it. But to me, it was like impromptu. wow, he can do magic anytime. And I was just like, that was it. I was like, I want to learn how to do that cane trick. And so my mom took me to a magic shop. I explained the trick to them. I'm 11 years old. I was in a wheelchair, I think, at the time, or a walker. And they said, well, that's a little advanced, but we do have magic classes. This is like in December.
Was it Ken Sands?
What's that?
Was it Ken Sands Magic Shop in
No.
Westminster?
This is way before that. This was a magic shop in Los Alamitos, California.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you practice while you were in the hospital, or you waited till you get out?
Well, I didn't go to the magic shop until I was out of the hospital. Okay. So, and then I signed up the next month after I was in that magic shop. I bought some tricks. I was taking magic classes. And then I found out about a magic club called the Long Beach Mystics that met every month at a clubhouse. And so I went to that, and then I joined them, and then they had a field trip that went up to the Magic Castle up in Hollywood. The first time I was at the Magic Castle, I was 11 years old, at a brunch, the daytime 7-day brunch. And it was like amazing. It was like walking into Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, And literally, it was that exciting. I still remember the excitement of it. And I remember all the magicians I saw. I remember all their names.
Oh, now, when did you decide to add a parrot to your show? And why a parrot?
Yeah, him. This is Luigi.
Oh, actually, they think it's a toy. Can Luigi?
Oh no, he's real. He's real. He's there you go. Kiss. Here we go. All right. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Well, I've been doing the act with the parrot for a little over 40 years. This is parrot number 3.
Don't tell him that.
Yeah, and his actual name is Buttercup, but they all play Luigi on stage. The original parrot was Luigi. That was his name. He was my pet. Didn't buy him for a magic act. I bought him because I like birds. I used to do...
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a technical difficulty. I think I just lost Dana, but he's probably coming back any second now. I bet you his computer battery was not being charged and it shut off. And we're fine. I'll just keep talking to you guys. So this is amazing when you have, entertainers like this that are born to do this. I mean, since age 11, he got hooked on it, and boom, he's been doing it for that long. And I remember when the Maui thing happened, the fire. There's also another guest here. We're back with Dana Daniels. Welcome back. Was the computer plug not charged?
You talking to me?
Yes.
No, I'm fine.
No, because right away you cut off and you were gone.
Oh, no, everything's on.
Oh, okay. You were gone completely and then you're back. I think Luigi is doing his magic psychic stuff.
Yeah, well, no, everything's up.
No, you're fine now, but right away you disappeared. But anyway, it's okay. We were talking about, this is Luigi number 3, and the first one was a pet. So you didn't buy the bird to use it as in your show,
right? Yeah, right. And then he worked his way into the show. Anyways, I wrote this bit where I would say I'd have the bird pick a card, and I say now, and I show it to a member of the audience. I go, now so you know what the bird's card is, remember it. And then I would go, now Luigi, look at the card. And as I'm talking, he's chewing the card up. Oops, I'm sorry, baby. Okay, she's chewing the card up, and then I put it back, and that gets a big laugh, and I act like I'm oblivious to it, and I put it back in, shuffle them up, and I go, okay, now Luigi, concentrate on the card, and I bring up some other card, and I go, nothing here, and then I bring up the next one, no, getting nothing, and then the third one is the one that's chewed up, and I go, wait a minute. And then was that your card? Like that. And so got big laughs. It wasn't really a magic trick. It was just a comedy bit. And it went over so well. A lot of the other mystic members were like, oh, you should build a whole act with that. And so I was looking for my hook, for something. I was trying different stuff for years. And I went, okay. And so just started writing bits and what magic tricks I could incorporate, and got a videotape and sent it out and started getting booked. It was like magic.
That's
got booked
funny.
at Magic Castle right away. Comedy Magic Club in Hermosa Beach, started working there, and then I sent it out to all the agents, when you sent out the VHSs back then. And I
Remember we used
got
to
a lot
send
of
the
work.
whole package?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, new internet.
Thing. So you had a parrot before you even, so because one of my questions was like, why did he pick a parrot? Are they smarter than a crow? Or they, because I've seen some people use a crow, not at this level, but I
Right. Well,
mean,
see, the thing is that he does nothing in the show. That's kind of the gag. He sits there pretty much like this, and that's what he doesn't talk. He doesn't. He does. He is trained to pick a card. So if I put cards in front of him, he probably won't do it now.
yeah,
But like this, see, he reaches up, and then he'll just stop at a card like that. Can you see his foot?
yeah.
That's kind of hard, But anyway, so he does that. So that's about. And then there's a few other things he's trained to do. Like when I turn him around and I go like this, he'll turn back around when I put my finger up like this. And then, and then like this. And then if I turn him around and go like this, he'll stay that way usually.
So
maybe
he knows
not now. Oh, see, he's staying that way. Now I'll put my finger over here and he'll come back around. So that's about all he's trained to do, really. Plus maybe some little, and then he's trained me. He reacts to different things, and then so I incorporate those into it. And each bird I've had, this, like I said, he's number 3. They all had their little quirks and things like that, and I've incorporated all those things into the act. And then when I use another bird, I can't do some of those things because
you have to do different stuff. So
so some of those things I do miss doing.
This is funny because I grew up with a parrot at home.
What
we
kind?
Had 2 different. It's a parrot that it's a lot bigger than Luigi or Buttercup, whatever his name.
Okay.
He's not on stage, so he's Buttercup. I've never seen a parrot with a stage name. but
the first one was Luigi, as I explained. The second one was Cosmo, because these birds live about 25 years.
Oh.
And Cosmo and Luigi, after I started doing the act of Luigi, I got Cosmo as a backup, but he never. Yeah, well, you don't know. Something could happen,
right?
And but it never did. And Luigi was healthy. He lived 29 years, and when Luigi passed away, by the way, he passed away backstage at the Magic Castle.
Oh,
in the dressing room, in my hands of old age. We finished the shows. But no, we were doing the Saturday night shows. I was doing the 3rd show, and I noticed he was sitting funny. I've raised birds since I was a kid, so he was hunkering down, and I'm like, oh boy, that's not a good sign. And I was supposed to do the brunches the next day, so I didn't do the act with him. I took him out of the act. I can do other stuff,
Yeah.
And then in between shows, I'm giving him water, like this, and then just before the 3rd show, he passed in my hands. I was a wreck. They had to cancel the show, the 3rd show. And I've never canceled a show before. But there was just no
That
way
was hard. That's 29 years with you.
Oh, my heart was broken. Oh, God. It was just,
But you knew
what I'm talking about.
I know.
Yeah.
That's hard. We lost
I had
our
him 29 years. I had him since he was a baby. So then I had to do shows that night. So my wife drove up Cosmo, which Cosmo,
the backup.
I have rehearsed with him at home, but he's never been in front of an audience, and he's never been in front of stage lights or moving curtains.
Right.
And what a show that was. The first one. He's backstage. I'm being introduced, and I go looked at the perch. He's gone. And I was like, because the curtain moved or something, and he flew up into the rafters, and I didn't see him. And I was like looking around for him. I'm telling the guy introducing me, scratching. And then I find him, and he was up in the rafters. I got up on a ladder, and I got him, and my adrenaline was going so much, I didn't feel it, but he bit my thumb because his adrenaline's going.
Yeah.
And he bit deep, and I didn't feel a thing. I put him on the perch. I'm introduced. I walk out, and I'm going like this, and I'm talking, and blood is gushing from my thumb as I'm going like this. and,
Oh,
and the piano
oh,
player's going, Dana, Dana, he's like about to get some,
just tell
and
him
I
it's
looked at, I
magic.
went, oh, little guy got me, and I grabbed a towel and I wrapped it up, and I did a bunch of ad libs. And after the show, a bunch of magicians at the Magic Castle come up to me and they go, oh, I love the new bit with the fake blood.
With the
You know, I'm going, yeah, it's a little messy, but I think I'm going to take it out.
That's funny. And then how long it took Cosmo to get
Oh,
adjusted?
right away. It was just, I had to get him. I didn't think about getting him trained. I didn't think about the lights and everything like that. That's brand new to him. So it was like, I just worked out after that night. That came in early the next day, and we did the lights and the curtains, and once he figured it out and went, okay, I'm not in danger. He was
So
fine.
when
Now
you
his first
travel,
time,
yeah, with
when
Buttercup.
Cosmo passed away, Cosmo only did the show for 6 years because he was already kind of old. I've had him for a long time.
Oh,
And I
okay.
had to take him out of the show because he was just getting old, and he wasn't, I think he might have had a stroke or something, and so I gave him to my sister to take care of because she has birds.
Uh-huh.
And so I put him in the show, and I was supposed to go right on doing Broadway, the Illusionist show. And so I had to use him. He was the only bird I had at that point. So I took him down to Comedy Magic Club so he'd get used to the lights and the curtains and all that. And then, so he was ready by, a month later, we were on Broadway doing shows. It was big debut.
And how old is Buttercup?
He's 9 years old.
9 years old. Now, do you have a backup for him just in case?
I do not.
So are you going to get
he has
another?
a backup for me now because I'm getting old.
Does he have, I mean, aren't you going to have another one just as a backup for
Well, not a parrot because well, there's a lot of different reasons I won't go into, but I see when I worked in Maui, I didn't use a parrot. I used a dove.
Oh,
And I kept him over there, and he's fine. He wasn't in the fires. He was because when I'm not there, because I missed the fires by 3 days. I finished my run on a Saturday, and the club burned down on Monday. And it was a good thing because if I was performing there, because he stayed the night when I would work there, he would stay the night in the club, but when I'm not there, I have people that take care of him for me. And he has a nice place too. He has a big aviary cage that has a view of the ocean up on a hill.
oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and and he had a little buddy with him to keep him company. So another bird, but that was Dwayne the psychic dove. And that's
Dwayne, so which one's easier to train or to do, a dove or a parrot?
See, like I said, the bird, all they have to do is sit there and do nothing, and doves are great at that. They're great at doing nothing.
Oh,
but I did train Dwayne to pick a card. Yeah. So I put a deck of cards in front of him. He put his foot up and go right down on a card.
How do you train a bird? I mean,
for like a dove,
they
naturally like to perch on things. If you come up to them, see, like this, like oops, like that. They come up to their chest. They go to perch, and so will a dove. The doves they're Java doves, those are the kind of doves that magicians like to use because they're very docile, and they're a good size, to use, so you can make them appear and all that. But I didn't do that kind of stuff with Dwayne. Dwayne just sat like this the whole show, and that's part of the humor of it. I would say, look at him, he's doing amazing things, and he's sitting there just, whatever. It's like so. To get him to pick a card, I would bring a deck of cards up, to the chest, and he's trying to go to perch on top of it. So his first inclination is to lift his foot, and then he would, he get his other foot. So what I do is fan him out and come up, and when that first foot comes up, then I bring the cards down a little bit. So his foot then comes like this.
Oh.
And it looks, the appearance of it looks like he's raising his foot up to pick a card. When actually he's just going, I'm trying, okay.
And the audience goes
but I did
crazy.
it so many times, it just got to be where then he was trained to just put his foot up on it. He didn't even try to perch on it. He just went like that.
So
and a lot of people never seen the dove do stuff like that. So they got kind of some just some ahs and oohs, just him doing that. You know, they're like, what?
that's funny. But what do you call it? I was going to ask you with Luigi. You did not use him when you were doing the Maui shows.
No, it's because I go out there so often. I was flying out there 9-10 times a year to take a exotic bird into Maui. Takes paperwork, takes money, takes time, and you have to fly through Oahu. So I wouldn't be able to fly direct into Maui.
Right.
Yeah, and I'd rather just fly nonstop into Maui. And I thought, well, let's try the act with a bird. This was years ago, and I just with a dove, because I knew there were some other magicians that were on the island. They had doves, and so I got one of the doves from them. You know, and I named him Dwayne. I didn't want to call him Luigi. I wanted to separate that a bit. I love the name Dwayne.
That's funny.
Dwayne. It gets a laugh right off the top. I mean, I love it so much. I almost wanted to call him Dwayne.
That's funny.
Yeah, and Dwayne is still with us. He just the people that took care of him, he belongs to them now. So they love him. So he's in good hands. But so if something happened to him, I probably would switch over to a dove.
To a dove, okay.
Yeah, because these guys are hard to find. I only use spectacle Amazons because of their. Because look, I mean, look how relaxed he is. He's just sitting there, you know. And where I tried years ago, I tried some other type of parrots. I had a severe macaw, which is a great bird. Too smart for this act. Too smart.
And they will talk.
Chatty. He's talking while I'm trying to talk, and he's constantly moving. If I get anywhere near him, he'll grab onto me, you know. And it was too much. He was too distracting.
For the show.
And that's why I don't want them doing a lot of stuff because of the humor we're going to do with it, them doing nothing. But also, I didn't want the interruption. You know, stepping on a punchline or whatever. You know, it's like he was. The severe macaw one time when I did the show, it was a wooden perch. He chewed the perch up during the act. By the end of the act, he's standing like this on a little piece because the rest of the perch is gone. And the whole time people are watching him chew up the thing, and my magic got totally lost. So it was like, but he was a great bird. His name was Dave.
Now, if you don't have a bird with you, you can still do a 45 to an hour show.
Oh, I do cruise ships. I don't take the bird on the ship.
I
do 2 45s on a ship, 2 different ones.
2 different ones.
Yeah. And I love the magic I developed with using the bird. I redone with just doing it other ways where it doesn't pertain to a psychic bird. One of the routines, I do have a psychic balloon head thing I do, which is a normal part of my act where I don't use the bird. So I expand on I do cruise ships. I do one more routine with the psychic balloon head. It stands on a microphone stand, so it looks like a little guy, and I do the same trick that I do with him, but with this, and it works. It works great. There's another routine I use with a fake dove.
That's what most magicians use, a fake dove.
No.
Really?
Oh, you mean like a rubber dove? You mean like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, for a gag or something. But the magicians that produce doves, those are all real. No. Yeah.
Now,
but there's some magicians that use the fake dove mostly they use it for a gag or something. And that's what I use. Mine's like not one of those rubber ones you can fold up, but it's like it's solid. But it's I talk about because I need to. Because the trick I do, it's my closer, with the money trick, and it's so integrated with the bird. And I was like, how am I going to do this? There's so many jokes I have that all come together, and so I thought, how can I still use the bird, a fake bird? And so so what I came up with was I talk about, when I was a kid, in my 12th birthday, Two magicians came to my birthday party. One gave me a book, Howard Thurston's 400 Tricks You Can Do. And one gave me a bird, a dove, to use in my show. And I still have the book. And I still have the bird, and so I go down and I bring up this, this bird, and it has Velcro on the bottom and there's Velcro on the perch, and I just go slap, like that, and that's it, and so everybody knows, okay, it's a fake bird, and they go with me on that ride.
Okay.
So, just for that one trick. I don't think I could do it through a whole act, though.
Right.
Maybe I could. I don't know. But
Now, Amy's asking, is he a live bird? Says she just joined in. He is alive. Luigi
he
is a live bird.
Yeah,
He's moving. Look at him.
You want? I'll pick him up again. You can see. You want to see him do a trick?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's
Magic
see.
trick?
Luigi, can you do a magic trick?
Yeah. Let's do a magic trick. Here, let me adjust my camera. I can stand up. And can you still see the bird? Okay.
Yeah, we can.
All right. So this, I guess I will, since we don't have another participant I can talk to, I will.
Oh,
did I go away?
No, you're fine. I was just.
I'm right here. Okay. Nazareth, are you there?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I just was trying to do.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to do the trick with you. We haven't prearranged anything, right?
Right.
Good, just like in rehearsal. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
Before the show, Luigi the Psychic Parrot reversed a card in this deck I'm holding in my hand right now. One card only is facing the opposite way from all the others. He's going to think of that card, Nazareth, and it's going to pop in your mind over the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Now Luigi's going to come right here. He's going to focus in on you. There we go.
He's looking into my mind.
Okay. Wait a second. Hold on. There we go.
Oh, no. This is a Christian show, ladies and gentlemen.
It's part of my. All right. Nazareth, did a card pop in your mind?
Yes.
What was the card that popped in your mind?
Can I tell you publicly without the bird
No,
hearing
I want
it?
you to do an interpretive dance.
Okay.
No, yeah. Just, yeah, say it out loud.
7 of Hearts.
The 7 of Hearts.
Yes.
For this to work, everyone here is going to have to close their eyes. I'm going to fan out the cards. And actually, there's one card, only one card. Y'all go through the rest. You'll see there's no other cards reversed, just the top card.
Yeah.
That's what we did before the show. We put it on top.
Okay.
Would you be amazed, Nathers, that this was the 7 of Hearts?
Of course, I would be very amazed.
So would I. And I tell you, not only is it the 7 of Hearts, but it's worth anyway. Well, actually, it is the 7 of Hearts.
Oh my Lord! Wow! Wow! That was amazing. Thank you, Luigi.
There we go.
That's. Thank you. Thank you for doing.
So yeah,
that.
if you see, this is my Zoom studio. When the shutdown went longer than I thought, I thought I better, to occupy my time, I made a little Zoom show that I would put up. It was called Show and Tell. I did about 16 episodes, and they run about 20 minutes. And because I know all sorts of interesting people that have either interesting collections or interesting stories, and so I interview them and put them on, and they were fun to do. It didn't make any money with it. It was just to occupy my time. Then eventually it was like, okay, got to start making some money. So I, Zoom shows were becoming a thing. So I built the studio, and I had to learn how to make all that right, with lighting and
right.
Learning,
it looks great.
I got an ATEM Minis Pro board here and all that stuff. And
did you make money off it?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They did. Yeah, I know some people that made a lot more money than I did with it, but I did especially during the holidays. I did a
Yeah.
lot of shows. I remember Christmas week or the week before Christmas, I was in here every day doing shows, and there was one day, it was like a Thursday. It was really odd. I did probably 9 shows that day. I started at 8 in the morning. I didn't finish till like 9 at night. And my wife was bringing in my meals because I was switching between platforms, and then I had to reset the act. I had everything lined up to just reset quickly, and it all worked, and it was amazing.
That's
and,
amazing.
and yeah, and you could do the whole show, and you're wearing shorts, or something. No one knows.
I did 468 shows, and
Wow.
and I was having too much fun to charge money, so I didn't.
Oh,
but
that's
uh,
great. Well, yeah, I
but
did a lot of hospital shows for free.
oh, God bless you. That's awesome.
Well, that's where I got interested in magic, and I wanted to,
That's
maybe
right.
spark that same thing in a kid. So
And what? How do you deal with empty calendars sometimes?
I try not to let it bother me. I remember when Warren and Annabelle's burned down, it really bothered me because I'm looking at this huge gap now.
Mm.
And it was like, okay, I started making calls again. And it's like, well, man, a lot of people I was dealing with before are retired, or they passed away,
Yeah.
or many different stories, or they went on to another job.
Right.
So it's like, now I got to call and create new relationships, and all that, kind of start over again in some aspects. But I've been around a long time, so I still have a reputation from some people, and so I still, stuff was coming in. But it was I try not to let it. I've always trained myself not to let it bother me, because I've always succeeded. Something always happens. It always comes through.
I wrote this quote, and I didn't put it anywhere else, but I was asked to pray it. That I said, I'm asking God not to give me more faith, but more memory to remember how faithful He was in the
Yeah.
past.
Yeah.
All these years that sometimes you look at the calendar and go, what's going on? There's nothing
Yeah.
happening. And then He comes through and you go,
Yes.
wow, look at that. I didn't expect this month to be that good. And He comes through and stuff. You're one
Oh,
of the people that your wife loves you so much, and we can tell that on Facebook.
yes.
She's always like,
Yeah. She married a magician. I mean, I showed you how much she's in love with me.
does she have a job?
Yeah, she works kind of part-time with at a private school, and she does all the foreign students that come in,
Hmm.
and she organizes that, and has them, and then they come in for a year or half a year, or sometimes they just come in for a few weeks or whatever.
Oh, I
A
see.
lot of them from the Orient, China and Korea
Uh-huh.
are the majority of them, and so she's been very good.
So,
at
what did you do when you were in Maui for that long, like 4 weeks at a time?
Well, you know what? It turns out she loved to go with me when I would perform in Maui. When I get a gig in Toledo, Ohio,
Yeah.
she has no
Wait,
interest
I
in
went to
going
school
with
in
me.
Toledo. Be nice. No, I'm just kidding. University of Toledo, but I know exactly what you're saying.
When I'm working Barstow, she doesn't want to
Barstow.
go.
Yeah. Just like my wife, I had a gig in Maui every year for the last, before COVID and after COVID. Every year for 7 days we go there, but they
Oh,
don't mind. They go with me, but
yeah.
when I'm in Bakersfield, like they're like,
Yeah.
no, they don't have to go.
I'm good.
Now,
Yeah.
has there any time where something embarrassing happened with the bird or with you doing the magic during a show? Any memories of it was like, oh, I hated that show, or something went wrong?
Oh, yes. I, I used to, I was at Disneyland for many years, and I had, in many different ways, I was, strolling magician juggler, and I used to be the comedian in the original Golden Horseshoe Review for a few years, and then I had my own show in the Golden Horseshoe for 8 years.
At Disney.
At Disneyland, yeah. Every Tuesday and Wednesday from 1995 to 2003, it was the Dana Daniels Variety Show, and that was a show I created and sold to them. It's a variety show where none of the acts show up, and the guy who mops the floors, who's seen the show a million times, has to fill in and do all the acts.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And it was so the acts were like a hillbilly juggler and a psychic parrot act, and then a bumbling magician guy, and so and I still do that show. In fact, we're doing it at the Magic Castle in 2 weeks, but I changed it so it would work outside of Disneyland, and it's called the No Show. So
that's brilliant.
Yeah, so we've been doing that for 20 years, the No Show at the Magic Castle, and then we did it in my piano player Richard Allen. We've been doing it at, for a while. We did it at theaters. We did little tours and all that, and some corporate events. Kind of an odd show for a corporate event, but
yeah. But what would you rather do? Would you rather do a corporate, a church, a magic? What would be
good
the best?
question? You know what? Hands down, a church show. They're the best audiences. Look at them. So,
how old is that church?
I don't know.
That's
just so they're just great audiences. I don't think I've ever had a bad church show, but corporate events I really enjoy too. I hear a lot of comedians talk about corporate events and how hard they are, I don't know. I've always enjoyed them. I've had some tough ones, but it all kind of depends who the makeup of the audience is. The hardest one I had was for a bunch of men scientists.
Oh,
yes. And so they're sitting there just like the whole time like this, and they're, I don't know, analyzing everything in their head or something like that. And they just didn't react. I was just like going, I feel like I was doing, a Zoom show in mute, and it was just, this was a long time ago, but it was like, that one sticks out. And I've had some live shows. I'm sure this may have happened to you. You show up and no one speaks English.
Oh yeah, I've done a German audience, a whole audience.
Yeah,
and I've done a deaf audience once. They didn't tell me till after the show.
No. Oh wow. I had one that was all Chinese. Didn't speak English. The only English words I heard that night were Dana Daniels when I was introduced. I was sitting on the side of the stage and I was like, oh, this is going to be just horrible. This is going to be horrible. And I was sitting there for 45 minutes with the bird on my finger, ready to walk out because I had no idea where they were in the program. The program was all in Chinese, except my name, and then I heard my name and I walked out and died on stage for 45 minutes. So,
oh my Lord! Even with the tricks, the magic tricks, and all that.
Well, maybe they did like it, but it's hard to, even with a volunteer and this and that. I mean, I was clicking my heels together, saying, "There's no place like home. There's no place like it. Get me out of here."
It's funny when they call us for the gig, we take it. Yeah, I can work that. I can do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can adjust. I can write for that.
Right.
And then you get closer and you start stressing out as every day comes closer. Like, what am I gonna do? And then you get it.
So I don't know why they should have hired a band or something.
Since we talked about church, where are you with the Lord? I mean, how did you? Are your parents Christians? Did you go to church when you were little?
You know what? I didn't go to church when I was a kid. Although my mom prayed, did now and lay me down to sleep, and every night, and so we certainly believed in God and Jesus, and I even when I was in the hospital, the 2 broken legs, I remember. My mom used to do prayers with me to heal my legs and stuff like that. And I remember one time felt like someone touched my head and a feeling went through my body. And I told her that. She said, "Oh, Jesus just touched you." And I was like, yeah, that's what it felt like, Amen. And it was amazing. And so, and then my wife and I, we used to go to Saddleback for a number of years when we
The
lived
brick
in
wall.
South Orange County. We used to live in
Uh-huh.
Dove Canyon, and so our
Mm.
kids went there and all that. But then we moved up here to Anaheim Hills area,
Uh-huh.
and during the shutdown, we got kind of watched church online, and we still do. So I
Now,
kind of developed that habit.
what does your kids think of you as a magician or growing up? Did any of them wanted to do magic?
No, my
Good
no.
parent. Good father.
I tried to get my son into it. He did a magic act every year in the talent show since he was 5.
Mm.
Taught him this magic act, and he did it. And then when he was around, I think 10 or 11, he said, "Dad, I would like to play the guitar." And I was like, "Okay, you got it." I mean, my parents were supportive with me when I did magic.
Right.
And it wasn't important for him to be a magician at all.
Right.
Not at all. Just as long as he finds a passion. So so he played guitar. But now he's my son is a laserist.
Laserist. What is
Yeah,
that?
he does lasers. He's a licensed laser. Like you go to a concert and you see lasers.
Oh yeah.
That's what he does. He does the design of the show, and he does the operation of it, and he goes all over the world. He just toured with an artist called The Weeknd.
Oh yeah. I know. I love The Weeknd.
Yeah, he toured with them all over the world. They went to the United States. I mean, all over the United States. Europe. They went to South America, and they were supposed to do, I think, Australia and some other places, but then he canceled the tour because he was exhausted. The artist.
The art.
The
Wow.
Weeknd. But he also tours with a number of other artists, all that. And
That's awesome. Do they think you're funny?
I think so. But once in a while, I do. Oh, that's a dad joke.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
going, well,
that's what I
every
get.
joke I say is a dad joke, I guess, because it's coming from me. So,
Mm,
and my daughter is a kindergarten teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So just one son and daughter.
Yeah.
Now, what advice you give someone who's thinking, I want to dabble with magic, doing magic, dabble and magic doesn't sound right. Like doing magic or maybe having an animal with me on the show. What is your advice to them?
Oh, to work with an animal, I would say if you can do it without the animal, the better.
The better.
I'm kind of grandfathered into it, so it's like it's become my thing, but it's challenging. It's not so challenging for me now because I know where I can take them anywhere in the United States, but outside the United States, like I can't. Well, like when I toured with the Illusionist show, we did Dubai and Abu Dhabi and
Yeah.
Doha.
Yeah.
And we were the first magic show in Qatar ever. That was interesting. It was kind of scary, but it was fine. They loved us. And then we did Australia, performed at the Sydney Opera House, and I did the act with a dove because traveling internationally with a parrot was just too difficult. You really can't do it.
Right.
There was a time where you could, but so I told the producers we can get a dove in any country we go to, and they were like, "How do we do that?" And I said, "Because there's a magician in every country we go to, and there's a magician that has a dove in every country." And so we'll give him 2 free tickets to use his dove.
Anyway, not in Qatar or Dubai, were they?
Yep. Every
They
country. Yep. They found magicians in every country.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Now-
I've never had a problem with it. I've done it many times on my own. I go to Canada or something like that for a corporate event. I just go on the internet to wherever I'm going and I search magician and I look at the list and then I email them. I said, "Do you know any?" Tell them who I am, and some of them even know who I am. And then I go, "I'm looking for a dove, and do you know anyone to loan me a dove?" And I'd be happy to pay or whatever we have to, any kind of arrangement. I'd be happy to take you to lunch. And I've never had a problem. They've always been great guys. I get the dove. As long as it's a tame dove, I can do the act. And
that is
and it's
so
been great.
good.
Everybody, so
That's awesome. What do you,
Yeah, but yeah, and then the magicians, yeah. As far as recommending going into magic and all that, if that's what you want to do, I mean, I got some friends that they have regular jobs and they do magic part time, and to make that jump from having a secure job like being a teacher to doing magic full time, that's pretty scary because there's your regular work, and you got a retirement plan probably, and you probably have medical and all that stuff. Now you're going to jump into being a freelancer, and you got to create all that on your own. And
right?
see, I grew up with it. I so it wasn't a big transition like that. It would be scary, and so I don't.
You're right. You're
Yeah,
right. It's scary. And then when you think about it, like, wait a minute, I don't have a retirement plan. I don't have a 401k. I
yeah.
don't.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I
Okay.
do. I had to, create my own, with IRAs
Yeah,
and like
that's what
that.
we do.
So yeah.
Two questions from the audience. The first one: has Dana ever had a dove in another country that didn't work well with him?
You know what? Not in another country, but in Maui, when I first started there using a dove, before I got my own. I was just every time I would go there, I was getting a different dove from a magician.
Mm.
And one time he gave me a dove, and I think it was a pigeon because he was a little more buff and strong, and he didn't want to stay on the perch. And he kept on flying up to the rafters, or up where the lights were, and I would have to get him down. So yeah, there was that experience. But other than that, no, I've never had a big problem.
What's the difference between a dove and a pigeon?
Well, their size. Other than that, they're different, a different species, really.
They're different species. My bad.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not.
mean, there are the. I don't know enough about. I know the dove that I use, the magicians use, are called Java doves, and they're
Java dove.
smaller. So a pigeon dove, or there are, maybe there are different kinds. Obviously there's different kinds of doves too, because I've seen doves out in the wild that are the size of pigeons, and I know magicians who have used those kind of birds. They train them.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
The second question: does Luigi talk?
Yes, he says hi and hello, and then he does a lot of muttering, which I can't understand what he's saying.
He's complaining, like, I don't
I
get
think
paid.
he's complaining about me. Yes.
Yeah, I don't get paid.
But he
He's
usually
making
does
all the
that in the
money.
morning when I come into the office. He lives in my office, in my house, and when I come in there, he just gets really excited and he goes, hi, hi, hello. Or when I come home, he gives me that, and then he stops, and then I can't get him to talk. Like if I tried now, like, hi, say hello, say hi, Nazareth, say hello,
Hi, bird.
hi, hi, say hello,
Yeah.
yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If he talks, he needs to sign a release.
But you know what? If he sees another bird,
Uh-huh.
he'll immediately start saying hi and hello to them.
Wow.
Yeah, he gets really excited when he sees another parrot or or a dove. That's the kind of birds he mostly sees. So I imagine he does any kind. Or if I have a TV on and I'm watching a scene and there's like a bird in the background of this thing, and the bird makes a little noise, he reacts to it. He can recognize a bird's, even like a talking bird. He recognizes it right away. He just starts, hello, hi, or he copies the sound.
So he's bored with you guys. He just wants
Oh,
some excitement somewhere
a
else.
long time ago. Yeah.
Now, what do you feed him?
Fruits and vegetables, seeds, nuts.
They eat vegetables?
Oh yeah, he loves carrots, apples, fruits, like that, and green beans
And seeds?
The things you can't give them. You can't give them chocolate. You can't give them avocado.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Avocado has something in it that will kill a bird.
I didn't like chocolate. We don't give our dog, right?
Right. Chocolate seems to be one of those things you can't really give to animals, I guess. I don't know. I heard it's for dogs too. Yeah, but but I don't know. I see my original Luigi, who lived 4 years beyond his lifespan.
Uh-huh.
Before I knew about the whole chocolate thing, I used to give him M&Ms all the time because I would eat M&Ms and he always wanted. And so I'd give him one and he would just like that and eat it. And he was fine. So I don't know, but then I started reading about, never give chocolate to a parrot, and I was like, oops. So,
25 years, yeah. If you were not, 25 years is when the average life of a
for
parrot,
these,
right?
for these,
For
yeah.
this kind of.
Yeah, but the first one lived 29, like I said. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if Dana Daniels was not a magician, what would you think you'd be doing?
Probably a photographer.
Really? You like
Yeah,
photography?
although I don't do photography, professionally or anything like that. I still have my old single reflex camera, actually right down here, that I had when I was a teenager.
Uh-huh.
And I had my own dark room, and I loved developing film, and I had an enlarger, and I did that whole thing, and I just loved it. And when I was in school, was doing magic at the same time, but I just never thought I could make a living at it. And I thought my dream was to, like, when I was a teenager, was to have like a police scanner in my car and my camera, and then I hear something that's going on, and like an accident or something, and I would rush off to that area, snap the pictures, develop in my dark room, and then I would sell them to the newspaper or the Long Beach Post Telegram, and I would probably make no money.
No money.
But whatever. That was sort of like the dream. And then or being a photographer of some sort. I always liked candid photos. That was I mostly enjoyed taking was candid pictures of people, just doing whatever.
Oh, that's funny.
Not posed photos. I liked capturing moments.
Now,
yeah. But the magic just, I was making money when I was a teenager doing kid shows, and I was making good money. I had my first business card. I was 12 years old.
Wow.
And I would post them on the bulletin board at like the Save On and the Thrifty stores. They always have community bulletin boards back then.
Yeah.
And I would leave like a little stack there, and phone would ring. My mom goes, some adult, like, why do you want to talk to my son? I have a kid's birthday party, all that. And then I put them on, and I go out and I do a kid's birthday party. And, at first I made like maybe $7, $15, or then it was like $30, $50, $60. And then my dad was like beginning to notice, how much are you making? And this is, back in the 70s, and yeah.
You've
never
been
had
around
a really
the
real
world.
job.
You've been around. Oh, he's making noise now.
He's making a little noise, yeah.
Yeah, you've been around the world. You've done one of those hardest jobs is to go on stage and perform for people and have to deal with the business aspect of the show. What one advice can you give people from your life that you learned that you go, wow, if I can give one advice to people, what would it be?
To perform?
No, just normal life.
Oh,
just
normal life?
Yeah.
I've always I've always been an optimist. In fact, in 9th grade, I was president of the Optimist Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had an Optimist Club, and every Friday we wear a tie. And I remember I'd get teased by all the kids, coming dressed in a coat and tie on a Friday. And you know what? My mom taught me, don't let that stuff bother you. You be you and all that. And so, I just brush it off, like that. And optimism has always been sort of my key thing. I've always tried to look at the brighter things in any kind of situation. It's like if something bad happens, it's a lesson to learn and just turn it into a positive. It's like, don't let it get you down. It's like, and what we do, we lose jobs all the time.
Right.
So you can't let that losing a job drag you down. You gotta, go on to the next one, learn from that one, take it to the next one. And don't take it personally. It's just like, because you didn't get the job because it could be a million things. You're just not the right look. If you're going out for I tried to be an actor for a little while. I tried that thing. I had an agent, go out and do commercials. And, I remember one time I was in the waiting room and it was for like a Mountain Dew commercial or something like that, you know.
Uh,
And there was no speaking parts. It was just like you're at the beach and hitting the ball around or something like that, you know.
uh-huh.
But I remember the casting director comes out and they see me in the hallway, and there's a bunch of other guys, and she says, "You're exactly what we're looking for," right at me. And I was like, "Well, guys, you might as well just leave." You know? So I walked in and did the activity things they wanted me to do, and they said,
Yeah.
"That's great." And I didn't get a call back, and I was like, "I guess someone else came in that looked even better."
Better that's
Whatever, you
exactly.
know.
Oh, she said that to everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So you just count. You just don't let it. You just go on to the next thing, and you
And
know,
it's hard. I know
it
what
is
you're
hard.
saying.
It is hard.
If
Yeah.
people are listening to Dana right now, he make it, he's saying it now, but it took years and years to get to accept that. It's like when we used to lose a gig, a big gig especially,
Yeah.
and it just
Well, you
and
know,
then
like when
less.
going back to when I was recovering from the broken legs and all that, and I went back to school, you know, in sixth grade.
Mm,
Uh, you know, I walked a little funny because I was just getting off the crutches, and the kids started calling me Wobbles,
mm,
you know, a little nickname. I didn't like it, but my mom said, "Take that, take it away from them, laugh with them at it, exaggerate it."
mm.
You know, and so I did that, and they laughed, and it went away. And I just accepted the name Wobbles. You know, when they go, "Hey, Wobbles," I would go, "Oh, boy," you know, do a little
That's
thing.
amazing. That's
And it was
powerful.
like,
That's
yeah, just take.
powerful.
She says, take the power away from them, and make it your own. So I think that's where I developed a lot of that. You know, skin. You
Yeah,
know, when it comes to losing stuff, and I've lost gigs and stuff for things that, yeah, I was really disappointed, and but I've gotten a lot of stuff that's been great. I've been really blessed.
that's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
how can people get a hold of you to book you to have you at their conference, convention, church, corporate? Yeah.
Well, my website is www.danadaniels.com.
Okay, let's see.
And you can go on there, and there's video, and there's all the stuff that talks about me. And you can, and if you want to hire me, there's a way of doing that on there too. You just fill out the form and
The
check
form.
my
Yeah.
availability.
Per-
Info@danadaniels.com is my email if you want to book too, but it's all on the website.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's just been so entertaining and amazing. And Luigi or Buttercup, for the stage name is Luigi. Thank you so much for standing there for an. He's a stand-up. He should do stand-up
Who,
because
me?
the bird. He's
Oh yeah,
standing
the
there
bird.
for an hour.
Stand up. Yeah, stand up parrot.
Stand-up
So
bird.
if I could leave with this here, there's like
Yes.
there's something I always do when anybody ask me, you know, every day someone always says, "Hey, how you doing?" Rather than saying fine, switch it to sensational,
Mm.
and you'll catch them off guard. They'll smile, and then what I always say is sensational, but I'll get better,
Yeah.
and that gets a laugh. And I do it when I'm, you know, at the market checking out the, you know, they always say, "How are you doing?" And I would go, "Sensational." They always stop and go, "Oh, that's good," or you know, whatever. And so that's all kind of been my little mono,
Yeah.
motto for years and all that. So,
That's
and I always like to
awesome.
pass it on to other people. You should try it. It's fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I hopefully will get to work together
I
and
love that.
hang in there. Let me close the show a little bit. I'll be right
Absolutely.
back. Thank you. And thank you guys so much for watching. Very entertaining today. Dana Daniels is a master at what he does. So if your church, your corporate, your events, I mean, with Luigi, the psychic bird is so much fun. He's a believer, brother in the Lord. So you're not gonna get anything raunchy or anything that's inconsistent with what your church believes. But he is a professional. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Tell your friends to subscribe, or you subscribe to the event and to the podcast, and we'll see you maybe next week. I will not, because my family's over, But the week after, I'll see you the Tuesday after. So thank you guys for watching, and you have a great night. Thank you.